Thanks for joining us on the John Mendola Show. We're driven by McCarthy Tire and Automotive Centers. Well, here we are, ready for the state championship in field hockey, and somehow we find ourselves with two teams from District 2 once again, two teams from the Wyoming Valley Conference, two Hall of Fame coaches at the state level and the national level. Let's talk with Crestwood coach Elvetta Gemski. First of all, Coach, what an incredible game in the semifinal against an incredible team, Ole Valley. And that one could have went either way, but somehow, some way, your girls found a way to win.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we did meet a very, very strong team coming out of District 3, as we expected. And we also met, a style of play that we hadn't seen, and we had to make the changes and adapt to.
Well, Ole Valley has really had a great program for many years, but it seems like they just keep running into a Crestwood team or somebody along the way. They're very competitive on the state level, but they keep running into teams that somehow, some way, you find a way to win against a team. And District 3 is a quality opponents each and every year.
Oh, they definitely are. I mean, it's really, really a large amount of teams in that area, and each one of them with the potential to be in the state playoffs and finally in the state game. We really had to dig deep in order to, beat Ole yesterday.
We're talking with Elvetta Gemski here on the John Mendola Show, and the way this matchup works, I mean, two District 2 teams, and the battles have gone on for years where, sometimes you're on the same side of the bracket, this year on the other side of the bracket, and a Wyoming Seminary team that you're quite familiar with, and they happened to get the job done on their side of the bracket, and wasn't easy for them. I think on paper I was saying, I think you had a tougher matchup with Ole Valley than what they had yesterday, but at any point when you get to the semifinals, every game is tough.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Wyoming Seminary, did everything to earn their spot in the final alongside of us, and I really think it reflects the type of players that we have in this conference, and I think every match that we have here in District 2, they challenge each other to make each other better. And
better, the games have gotten 2010. At 11, the state championship goes to Wyoming Seminary. Your team wins it last year, and one of you is going to win it this year. So it just seems the domination just seems to continue, and I'm sure a lot of it goes to the coaching with the legendary coaches like yourself and Klasner, and both of you probably never take enough credit for it. But these girls, they work awfully hard in an undefeated season so far for Crestwood with one more game to go. What are you expecting against Wyoming Seminary? I mean, each time you played them, I'm sure you've played them a number of times in the matchup. What do you expect out of them each and every game?
Well, first of all, every game is different. So our expectations, our work that we must prepare for, certainly is based upon, the past games that we've played. But, every game is different, and we definitely need to continue to put our game on the field and, take it up a level. I mean, it has to go up even a higher notch now that we're in the final game.
And how hard is it to take it up a higher notch? Because you have to come off a cloud 9, so to speak, when you win such a dramatic game against Ole Valley. You kind of have to take almost a step back before you can take that step forward.
Yeah, it is. It really is asking a lot. But the girls have done it, and they know the feeling. They know that, and they understand that it takes just one goal. And they've shown in the past 2 years that they will, play to that level right to the end.
Coach, there's different philosophies out there, and you've been around the game of field hockey for a long time. I have the utmost respect for you as a coach, and a lot of people in northeastern Pennsylvania do as well. But you hear the old saying, well, it's hard to beat a team 3 times and stuff like that. And then there's a different philosophy: is you're playing for one game. This is it. It's all on the line. So, how do you approach this game with them, with that mentality from your coaching standpoint?
Well, we certainly hear that. It's also hard to go back to back. So, we're looking at something that, really hasn't been done very often, throughout the history of the tournament. But again, it's, that different day is there, and we're going to go out there and try to do what we do best. And it's a matter of chances and opportunities, and a matter of execution, and that's how every game is.
When you play a team like Sem and you win both games this year, and of course you have to have a shutdown defense like you've had, but somebody's got to put the ball in the back of the net at some point, or the cage, and you've had girls that have done that all year long and have stepped up, and a lot of underclassmen that have grown from last year, a lot of experience too.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we do have a very well-rounded and very powerful offense. We have multiple scorers and double figures, and pretty much any one of the players that steps into the circle has the potential to score.
I'm looking forward to a great final for the state in Pennsylvania, and I'm sure it's going to be a great show. And it's just so funny that two teams from the Wilkes-Barre area here, we're heading down. We got to drive down to Allentown to play in the state championship, but it's always a fun event. I know the girls get excited about it, the schools get excited about it, and there's a real rivalry, it seems, with the fans itself. Maybe more of a rivalry with the fans than it is with the players on the field.
There's a whole other atmosphere going on up there in the stands that I'm not really aware of, but we hear background noise. I'm sure there are there are some friendships going along the way. We have players on the field that have been friends throughout the year playing off season, and it's something that we're going to do our best to put a very, very good game of hockey on the field.
Coach,
Wyoming Seminary.
How long could this go on? I mean, it's so great and so wonderful, and people may not appreciate it as much, but I mean, you look at the matchup between two coaches that are in the National Hall of Fame. Two programs have been outstanding, and both of you have been at your craft since the 70s, and here you are still playing for state championships. I mean, you just got to keep riding the wave, I guess, right?
Well, I'll tell you, what I've kind of summed it up as after all these years is, I wouldn't return if it weren't for the caliber of girls that, do play for Crestwood. They just keep bringing me back every single year. I mean, it's just, it's a joy to be around them. I have such respect for how hard they work. And, again, I mean, it's just, it's the players and, the caliber that they are and what they put on the field. That keeps bringing me back.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us here on the John Mendola Show.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.